This, let's see.
I just told you joy about that. I know, but I just wanted you to, I love your comments.
I was a little bit improv right there. We're our amalgamated sparkleness. That's what we're doing today. Welcome. It is another Sunday here at UCP. Good to see everybody. Kind of day that makes you just want to be grateful and kind of makes you want to bang on a drum and say thank you and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get this started right now. You count. 2. So grateful, so grateful. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day.
Energy of gratitude, opening our hearts, opening our minds, being present in this vibration of love and gratitude. So thank you for being here. Thank you for getting up an hour early, getting here and being present and playing in this energy with us. We'll take a nap later. It's okay. So I'm Reverend Victoria Loveland-Coen, in case you don't know, and to my left is the wonderful Nathan Jorgensen, who is going to lead us in a fabulous meditation, I know, anchor us in that consciousness. And we want to say hello to those of you joining online on YouTube or Facebook. We see you. We're sending you kisses. Mwah. We know that you're with us. If you want to say hello in the chat, and then we feel like we're really connected. All right, so let's just take a nice deep breath together. And bring our awareness here as Nathan lights the divine light candle. Let's just be with that element of fire for a moment. Breathe that in. And from this space, from the stillness, I invite you to say together with me the opening invocation, which is right up here. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. Take a breath. Feel that possibility of joy, of love, of abundance, of wholeness and well-being, that energy of divine light that is all around us and within us, just waiting for us to step into it. And we step into it today with gratitude. And so it is.
I fall into the arms of love. And I'd like to start by giving a thank you to Mark, because this morning, as I was sitting outside after waking up at a strange time, as most of us did, I sat outside, and in addition to the whites and the pinks and the purples that we now see blossoming, I heard sounds that were so new. I haven't been around for months. Instead of just a couple of birds, there were dozens. And so I tried recording that, and we'll see if it works this morning. And if not, I invite you tomorrow morning to sit out and listen. And the sounds are going to be very different now than they have been for the past few months, because in addition to earth coming alive, the birds are coming back. So let's take in a deep breath together here. Allow the breath to travel through your body, and breathe in and let it relax your head. Down into your neck, through your arms and fingers, all the way down, and let's sit for a few minutes with the birds. continue keeping our eyes closed. Let's pray together to honor the prayers of the prayer requests of those in our community. Send these prayers up into the trees, up into the skies, that new growth will blossom within each of us, that new songs will be sung, that we will see that the power and the strength and the support to answer these prayers is already among us. We pray in gratitude for one another, for the fellowship and friendship and support that we have. And we send these prayers with the birds to go up, around, back and forth. Taking a deep breath again together. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Take in the light. Look out the windows and see spring blossoming. Look around at each other. Try to make eye contact with at least two other divine beings here with us today. And also look at our walls, where some of these birds are featured in photographs. The sounds are locally sourced, as are the pictures. So let us call forth the energy of spring, of renewal, of love, of life, and of song. And together we say, and so it is.
All right, so we're continuing with our gathered sparkle. This is a lovely song by Todd Rundgren. Quite honestly, I needed to do a song that was happy for me this week, so this is a happy song for me. There's a couple lines out of this one, though. The simple things in life seem so hard to learn sometimes, you know. And the other line is living in your pockets and talking through your hat. I believe that's describing our current president, but I don't want to get real political about it. So, and it also is an opportunity to feature a fabulous flute solo. So here we go. I've been burned in my prime. The simple things in life seem so hard to learn sometimes, and it takes so long. Catch it while you can. Too late tomorrow, 'cause everyone said we all know what comes anticipating on.
Everyone is waiting, just anticipating.
Won't you make a showing? Everybody knows what to do.
Everybody knows what to do.
Take the dove from your ivory tower and fall on everyone. We'll catch you, everyone. I would be so pleased to spend some time and hear a little talk about what's been on your mind. 'Cause it won't take long to turn my head around. If it comes easy, and everyone needs the love of the common man. Turn the world around. Too late tomorrow, and everyone needs the love of the common man. Turn the world around. Too late tomorrow, and everyone.
All day. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, good morning. So I wanted to begin today by sharing a cartoon. And we don't have the thing. Oh. Then because you're not recording me because it's down here. Well, let me get it up here. Oh, that made a difference. Let's start over. Hello. Good morning. All right. So I wanted to start this morning with a cartoon. A famous Peanuts cartoon, and it'll come up in just a second. You've seen that one before? Can you relate? Yes. I know. Right. So the concepts in Brene Brown's book, Braving the Wilderness, that we have been using as inspiration for this talk series is kind of based on the idea that humanity, we collectively, are in a spiritual crisis. In part because of a sense of disconnection from our source, from our spirit, and disconnection from each other. And she says that connection, the spirit that flows between us and every other human in the world, is not something that can be broken. However, our belief in the connection is constantly tested and repeatedly severed. So, how is that severed? What gets in the way of our connection? Ego, maybe fear, maybe isolating ourselves in our own little echo chambers. What else? Judgment, yeah. Greed. Our different silos, yeah, we're in different silos. We're not talking to each other, right? All of the above. So in chapter 6, she makes a bold claim, and that is, if we want to heal this division, then we must learn to hold hands with strangers. Not metaphorically, at a distance, not on social media, but in real life, in real time, in shared space. And that's very much a spiritual practice. And it begins with the question, what is a stranger? So I was thinking about this, and I have a very early memory. I must have been 4 or 5. And my mom, we were in the car, and she parked, and she had to go make a deposit in the bank, and she wanted me to stay in the car. I guess these are the days you did that. And she said, now don't go anywhere and don't talk to strangers. And I remember clearly thinking, how would I recognize a stranger? What does a stranger look like? You know, I had no idea. There are no strangers, right? Just people that we don't yet know. But what we can know is that everyone has the same need to belong as we do. Everyone feels pain like we do. Everyone has challenges like we do. Everyone has that need for meaning and purpose like we do. Everyone has that longing to experience their spiritual self like we do. They may not recognize that's what it is, but that's what it is. Yeah? And they may have a completely different view of everything than we do, and they may be from a completely different background than us, but there are no strangers. I mean, we know here that everyone is an individualized expression of the one divine light, right? That the same life energy that breathes through you breathes through everyone. And that we're all wired for connection because we're already connected in our core level, you know, from that spiritual level. But when we forget that, and when we start judging other people, we unconsciously sever that connection. And then we, you know, start seeing each other as, well, they're part of this group. Or they're part of that group. And we reduce them to stereotypes, positions, and we close our heart. And I have to say, this is so easy to do. We all do it, right? We all do it. So we want to just we want to pay attention. We want to be aware. And, you know, this is the 5 weeks into this that we've been talking about this. So hopefully you're beginning to at least get some like oh yeah, when you're doing it. Like catch it a little earlier, right? Just catch it. And also give yourself compassion, you know, exercise some self-compassion. This is not easy, this stuff. And there's a remedy for this tendency. As she says in the book, that healing can happen through coming together in public spaces for a shared experience. And she gives examples, and you can think about, so if you are, you know, going to a ball game or something, and imagine you're sitting together in a stadium or an arena with a lot of other people, a lot of strangers, not many of whom you would probably hang out with otherwise, but you're all there rooting for the same team, and you're all cheering them on together in that thrill that comes through all of you when your team wins, right? Or maybe it's watching a concert of a popular band that plays a song you all know the words to, and everybody's singing in unison, and there's this joy. Or in a church service, whether that's unity or any other, you know, more traditional services, or maybe it's a Jewish service in a synagogue on Friday, or a Buddhist, or, you know, whatever. You're coming together, and you may not know everybody, but you're really sharing this intimate time, this sacred time, meditating together, you know, singing together, having spiritual insights together. It's magical when we come together like this for a common shared experience. It can be sacred, magical. And there's a word for it: collective effervescence. Collective effervescence. And you know, if it's in a Brene Brown book, there's some research behind it, because she's a research girl. And in fact, the researchers who studied this say that it contributes to a life filled with a sense of meaning, increased positive affect, an increased sense of social connection, and a decreased sense of loneliness, all essential components of a happy, healthy life. Collective effervescence. Even when you're sitting in like a dark theater watching a scary movie or a scary play like we saw last night, Macbeth. Yeah. You know, there's that, you're together in the dark and you're witnessing this and, you know, you all scream at the same time. You know, there's this real-time experience that you're sharing together. It wouldn't be the same experience if you were watching it at home on TV with just one other person or, God forbid, by yourself. Not the same, right? That's not the same experience. There is something about sharing that experience, coming together, sharing that experience in real time. It's soul connecting. It's you know, healing. It can be healing. And now here's the thing. If you were in that same space and you turn on the lights and you invite everybody to talk about how they're feeling about the global situation right now, or discuss religion, or who you voted for and why, that would be a different experience, right? It'd be a different energy. There's something about having people from all walks of life, different socioeconomic, different race, different religion, different gender, political party, and putting them in a room and witnessing like maybe this gorgeous symphonic orchestra play an amazing piece, or maybe watching an amazing dance or theater, you know, or musical, a fun musical we all know the words to, or a moving film. Suddenly all of the differences drop away and you experience that connection, that inherent connection, right? You experience that inherent connection. Now, so I shared last week my experience of walking with the Faithful Resistance group in Washington, D.C. last week, and how that experience of walking together, singing together in a crowd of like 2,000 people with a shared purpose of love thy neighbor, of love. How that was that experience of collective effervescence. You know, that joy that just bubbles up when you're coming from that place together with people having that shared experience. Now, earlier in the day when and everybody was in the sanctuary and we were listening to different speakers share, some of them were very heart-opening and like heartbreaking, you know, the stories they were sharing. And so we were all like, you know, sad together. And then you had some speakers that were really there to provoke outrage. And that was a different energy. It just felt really different. So she talks about this in the book about protests and gatherings, which she's been at. And she says, if there is a dividing line expressed, or a common enemy that is identified, you know, which is easy to do, right? It's easy to do, that it can be counterproductive because she says it's dehumanizing and denies our collective worth and our connection. You know, so we want to think about that when we're participating. Now, this doesn't mean that we're not distinguishing right from wrong. does not mean that we don't know what wrong is. Even in New Thought, we know what wrong is. When you're hurting someone else or your policies are hurting vulnerable populations, we know that's wrong and we want to call it out. We all need to call it out. The difference in New Thought is that we can separate behavior from being. You know, what someone has done or is doing from who they truly are, which is there's a seed of the divine in everyone, right? In everyone. Also, when we show up, we can bring our love. We can bring our energy. We can stay centered in a vision of creating a world that works for everyone, of staying centered in our vision of a world that we want to create. And then we bring that energy to the group, and it begins to spread out. It begins to vibrate out, and that shift, the energy can shift when we bring our love and our intention. You know, what if you're the person that can bring out the best in others? What if you are all the people who can bring out the best in others? That's why we want to show up from that place. Show up and be present. All right, so now the other side of this collective experience is collective sadness. That's why we have funerals, so that we can come together and grieve. All right, and usually at a funeral there are loved ones that you're close with, but usually there's a lot of people you don't know, and again, maybe you wouldn't normally want to hang out with, but they're there. You're in shared space. You're in that shared space, grieving together. There's that connection of being together in this universal experience of grief together with other humans. That's why we do it. So about 4 years ago, I was sharing about my brother who had this sudden tragic episode, and he died 3 months later. And I had to keep flying out to Los Angeles to take care of him. That's where he lived, and to take care of his life. I was kind of the only one. And that last visit was to attend his funeral. And it was lovingly hosted by his spiritual community. Now, this spiritual community, our whole family, it had been suspect. Our entire family, we thought it was a cult, And honestly, I think kind of it was at one point, And he was estranged for a while from the whole family, partly because of that. It was sad. And what happened was, years ago, the leaders of this cult died, and the whole thing fell apart. And then from what I understand, it regrouped, and it regrouped under the spiritual concepts, the spiritual ideas, that more about that than worshiping the leaders. So it was about, solid spiritual concepts. And, I didn't really know any of the people, but boy, were they loving and compassionate. They helped me out so much during that time. Honestly, I could not have done that. I could not have gone through that if they didn't step up and lovingly support me and my efforts in all of that. So the day of the funeral comes, and again, it's in their space, and with all these people that I don't know and have had a lot of judgment in the past about. And I'm sitting with my daughter who never had a relationship with her uncle until the very end when she was helping to take care of him. And we were holding hands so tight. And all of these emotions are coming up and moving through. And there was my brother's ex-wife, who, again, we had a lot of judgment around. I have to say, our whole family had a lot of judgment around her. And actually, her lack of response contributed to his passing. But I couldn't judge that because she was in advanced cognitive decline. So there was all of this stuff going on, right? And anything could have happened at this point. But it started, and suddenly the floodgates opened. And we all opened our hearts, and we all sobbed together, and we all were heartbroken together, and we held hands and sang and cried together. And it was so healing. It was the most healing experience I have ever had. It was incredible. This is why we have moments and we come together for this shared experience. And all of those differences, all of those judgments, all of that stuff just fell away. And all that was left was the heart and the love and the connection. It's powerful. It's really powerful. So holding hands with strangers is about proximity. It's about proximity, standing near someone whose story you don't know. And when we are on a spiritual path, we may want to say to ourselves silently, you know, you are a divine human, and so am I. You are on a journey toward wholeness, and so am I. You know, and just silently feel that inherent connection. Proximity dissolves the illusion that we're separate. Proximity dissolves the illusion that we're separate. So I want you to think right now about a time in your life you have had a shared experience like this, whether it was a joyous collective effervescence experience or a shared, you know, common humanity experience where boundaries and judgments and you know, all of that differences faded away and you just experience connection. Think about it. And if anybody feels moved to share that experience here with us, I invite you to come up and do that. And here's some mic here that you can use and share that experience with us. Donna. Oh.
We were on a camping trip, and the gentleman, probably about our age group, camping next to us with a huge family and bumper stickers that we wouldn't have agreed with at all. And he came over and he was talking to us, and we were listening with love as he explained about his family and just went on with detail after detail. And then he said, and my son is going to college, and I told him to be very careful because not to be affected by those liberals. It's really easy to be affected. And then he must have looked at our faces and went, oh, you're probably liberals? And we went, mm-hmm. But in the course of camping for 10 days, next to him and his family of several generations. We traded when they made homemade ice cream, they invited us over. When we were doing something, we invited them over. We had quality discussions of a spiritual nature that had nothing to do with their church or their politics, and were able to share, and we were able to see how our judgments had only been so surface of the kindness that was in their hearts.
Wow, beautiful, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Absolutely beautiful, thank you. Anybody else have an experience they want to share? Yeah, Carla, come on up.
Yes, what I thought of during that is an experience I had in a restaurant. And it was one of these restaurants that had a lot of different rooms. And one of them was more like a bar, and it had a piano in it. And I don't even remember why I was there, but I was there with a pretty large, diverse group of people. And at one point, somebody got up and went to the piano, and they started playing Imagine. And I can't hear that song without crying, which I'm doing now. But a few people in our group started singing it, and it gradually just spread throughout the entire restaurant that everyone was singing that song together. And it was, effervescence was a great description.
Oh, yeah, what a beautiful moment. Yeah, thank you. You just want to bottle those moments up and carry them with you. Anybody else? Yeah, Mary, come on up.
Many years ago, my daughter-in-law and I attended a giant gathering in Washington, D.C. for peace. And I was standing there, not down by the White House, but in that back area where there's a knoll. And it occurred to me that those people that were down by the White House were for war, whereas the group I was with was for peace. And it really, changed my whole attitude about how I looked at things. I said, you got to be for something, not against something.
There we go. Thank you, yeah. It changes the energy, definitely. Anybody else? Yeah, Jessica, and then Lynn, and then we'll.
So I'm thinking of, I was in Marshall, just outside of Asheville, during Helene, and I had just at the beginning of September moved onto this 20-acre property in a tiny home. And so there were lots of people on the street that I lived on that were not happy about new people coming into Marshall. It's still very rural and lots of generations going back. So when Helene happened, once the rain stopped, people on four-wheelers started driving around the roads, and it was suddenly sort of like the new people and the people who have been on the land for generations were working together to figure out generators and fresh water, and it became really a turning point for the whole area, which is amazing.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and very often we see that with disasters, how people just drop everything, all the differences, and come together and help. Lynn, do you want to come up? And we don't want to wait for another disaster to come together. No.
So it's funny. I have a very similar experience to what you were talking about. I went to my godfather's funeral yesterday, and he had kind of like two very different families in his life. Like when he was my godfather, it was like in the 70s, and he had two sons. When I met, apparently his name was always George. I knew him as Skip. And he was 61, and he was a police officer, and when I knew him, he was like Eddie Haskell. And so it was all very like, woo, you know. Anyway, and I couldn't call him George. But, you know, he had that like older family, and, you know, that I knew growing up. And then he and my godmother divorced, and then a little bit later, they actually moved down to North Carolina. This was up north, and he met Lynn, another Lynn, without me, and they were married for 42 years, and she had a son from another marriage, and then they had a child together, and then unfortunately one of his sons has passed away from the first marriage, so we go to, the service was actually, you know, because my memory of him is up north, you know, very northern and everything, because when we lived up north, and we go to the funeral. It's in Burlington, which has nothing to do with like any of the family that I know of, and it was in one of those in churches that was like in like a strip mall, and I was like, I drove up and I was like, seriously, you know, because my view of funerals is like, you know, like a big church, and you know, like I don't know, yeah, and so I was like, okay, you know, and then you had like his older family was there. And then his younger family was there, and there, you know, throughout the years, there had been like strife with, you know, the sons from his older family when he remarried, and drama there, and like they were all there together. We had the older son, and then the stepson, and then his daughter, who were like 20 years apart in age, and they all got up and they all spoke in this really weird church that was clearly had been a store before, and. Yeah, and it was all very black and very weird, and anyway, and I was like, you know, the whole time but every one of his children got up and they spoke about him, and they all had very different experiences about, you know, it was just like, and you know, and I know of all the strife from the years, because I've known, you know, these people forever, and yeah, and like how they all just, you know, came together, and like every time that one sibling came down from speaking, they hugged the other two siblings, and then the next one came up, you know, and they, you know, they were just, but to them, they're all siblings to each other, even though they're from very different times and very different situations. And then, you know, just, I think the church was his wife's brothers, like I think he seemed like he was a minister there, like he led the whole thing, and he was very, you know, good at it. And so a lot of the other people there were just very, like very, very Southern, very from Burlington, very, you know, and I couldn't like get away from my idea of like, no, like we're from Massachusetts, you know, and like this was his funeral, but like everybody was there and like grieving and talking so wonderfully about him because he was wonderful. And I had never thought so much about like, he really had two completely different lives, and everybody has come together now to celebrate him.
Thank you,
yeah,
Lynn.
yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, thank you all. And just be, you know, looking at those times in your life and looking for opportunities to create more of them. We have an affirmation, I think, to say here together. So let's go. Take a deep breath. Together, centered in spirit, I choose connection over fear, love over division. And so it is. Thank you.
This is a song that Roshana picked out for me. This is a nice song called All Is Well, and that's about all I have to say. All is well. Coming together to celebrate life, shining like stars in a brilliant sky, here for each other in joy and in pain. Grateful for
Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our musicians. Thank you for those who shared, and thank you to Reverend Victoria for that wonderful message. In the spirit of shared humanity, I'll also share a little bit that my weekends, or my Saturdays and my weeknights have been very busy lately, but I've been having a lot of fun as I'm rehearsing for an upcoming show of Mary Poppins. And it's so much fun, I thought I'd give you all a sneak peek of my character. I'm not I'm a couple minor characters, and I'm in the ensemble. But the reason I share that is because this is at a church. It's just about a mile away. You could walk there through these woods. And it's a thing of, I met so many people that I probably would have not met because we're different. In fact, I'm probably the one who's the most different, because I said goodbye to them a few years ago, and I thought, I'm going to join this. And so being together, I've met people as we dance, we sing, we hold hands, we stand on stage in the background pretending like we're having conversations. And I don't know a whole lot about many people, but we formed a bond and we formed a friendship that is much more powerful than zooming in on differences and saying, no, I'm not going to meet these people, I'm not going to be in this space, I'm not going to do that. So I wanted to share that in the spirit of humanity, and that we all have divine light within us. So, our vision. We envision the divine light awakening in all. Our mission. We center in peace and love. We connect in our hearts with others. We celebrate our journey toward wholeness. And we empower others to experience their spiritual magnificence. And so it is. Also, in the spirit of community and connection, now is our chance to offer up support, offer up contributions to keep this community going, to sustain this, to sustain those who are here, to take it outward, and to share that divine light with the world. So, we have multiple ways that you can share your gifts and contribute. If you'd like to make a donation, you can put it in the little envelope in the seat back in front of you. You can pay electronically through Venmo. You can scan a QR code there. And if you'd like to put something in the bowl, you can put this little blue card as a symbol of that donation. And if you are a regular giver, a conscious sustainer, you can put this little green card there in the bowl as a symbol of your sustained contributions. So, whatever it may be, however you may contribute to support this community, to keep this going, if you will take that and hold that to your heart right now as we say together the blessing of this sacred exchange. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
Power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. Love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth.
And now, if you will, hold out your hands, and we can together, as we're joined with our prayer partner for today, Joy Bell, hold out our hands and send our energy and our love to bless these gifts, that they will multiply, that they will go out, that they will come back, and go out and come back again to bless this community, those with us, those without who may seem different, that these may help unify our communities and unify our world. And so it is. Joy will also take our prayer request box out into the foyer. So if you have a prayer request that you would like to be prayed over, you can find it out there later. There's little slips of paper and you can put those in. Now I'd like to welcome any guests that we have. Is anybody here for the first time today? And feel comfortable raising your hand. Otherwise you can just blend in and that's fine too. But if you are here, we would just like to say thank you for coming. And our greeters have a little bit of information for you so that you can learn a little bit more about us. So if you would like that, you can raise your hand. And if not, you could see a greeter afterward. Do we have anybody who's here for maybe the second or third time? Checking it out again. We also have some more information for you. I'd like to welcome you back. And we're happy to hear that you saw something worthwhile that you wanted to come back and revisit. So there's an opportunity to learn a little bit more. You can fill out a little card with information so you can get on our email list and return that to one of the greeters in the back. So again, welcome. We're happy to have you with us. And welcome to everybody who's here for the 100,000th time. I'd also like to recognize these beautiful flowers that we have here and thank our flower angel for this week, beloved member David Glass. Where's David? There we go. Okay, I was like, I just saw him. It's always harder when you're up front looking. And I'd like to read the flower dedication from David. These flowers today are presented to you, the board of Unity Center of Peace in Chapel Hill, in recognition of your tireless dedication and exceptional service. They represent our profound and sincere gratitude for your many varied services, both those reported and shared with us through announcements and annual meetings, and those that lie outside and beyond our knowledge and awareness, those additional and unknown, unacknowledged, often necessarily confidential deliberations and decisions to which you so devotedly and voluntarily dedicate yourselves for the maintenance and advancement of our thriving, growing, forward-looking, and progressive spiritual community. Through your many scheduled meetings and to those special, unpredictable, and necessary consultations and decisions that arise from time to time, you create, sustain, and envision a progressive future for this open and public center for personal development, spiritual enrichment, and mutual support for our members, guests, and visitors, both virtual and in person. I speak for each and all of us as we express our gratitude and appreciation for your excellent service and exceptional dedication to the Unity Center of Peace and to our progressive spiritual community. Thank you. Back to you.
Okay. We're going to do a little chanting here. This is a chant that Victoria, at the service that she was at up in Washington, D.C., I believe. Did you get that? Here we go. It goes like this. Oh, everyone, oh, everyone, oh, every one of these people are ours, just as we are theirs. We belong to them, they belong to us. We belong to them, they belong to us. Turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat. This wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street, not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? The summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got no place to go. That's why I want you to know that I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message is gonna be any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there are some with no home, not a nickel alone. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow each other on the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could be any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message is gonna be any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. We belong to them. They belong to us.
Well done, sir. We had a conversation about that this week. How is that going to work? It works beautifully. Thank you, Chris and Bright Matter. Yeah, that was the they belong to us, we belong to them, what we were singing when we were walking. Yeah, it was just gorgeous. Okay, so we've got a few things happening that I'd like to tell you about. There's always more details about everything if you go to our website, unitychapelhill.org. And the first thing I want to share is Adopt a Highway is coming up, and that is this Saturday. Yeah, Saturday from 9:30 to 11:30. This is that little stretch, big stretch actually, of Sewell School Road that we have adopted, and we are responsible for taking care of and making sure that the trash is picked up and it doesn't end up in the stomachs of wildlife. And so please join us in the morning on Saturday. It's kind of fun. We get together, we have fun, and hey, we could have a collective effervescent experience. Who knows? Be there. Okay. And I wanted Karen Novi was going to be here, but she couldn't be today, so she wanted me to make an announcement about her Savage Daughters workshop. And this is an opportunity for unforgettable live experience of sisterhood, voice, and personal power. Ooh, yeah, that looks powerful. That looks like one of the witches from Macbeth last night. Savage daughter. Okay, so QR code is there, and we probably have some information on our website as well. So check that out. Our youth and family ministry is doing a fundraiser next week, and it is pancakes. The kids are going to serve pancakes and other food, and apparently I hear there's going to be some Irish dancing and maybe some Celtic stories and all kinds of really celebration of this time of year, and it's a fundraiser for our YFM, so they have funds to be able to do things throughout the year. So that's next Saturday, right after the service. Sunday. Did I say Sunday? Sunday. Yeah, right after the service. I think we're suggested donation of $10 or more if you want. Okay. And Laura, would you please come up and share about our new fundraiser? Oh no, we've got the Pathways to Community. Oh, you know what? She's already got it on, so okay. Don't pay attention to the flower in the corner. Turn your head right now. Everybody's looking, of course. Okay, first I want to tell you about Pathways to Community. This is a class we do a few times a year, and it's really good for people who are new to Unity or Unity Center of Peace to find out more about who we are, what the spiritual principles are, what undergirds it, the history, how we're a little more unique here at Unity Center of Peace, and how we can support you in realizing your full potential. So we do exercises, and also we come together in a fun social atmosphere. So please sign up on the website it's the 28th from 1 to 5. All right. Now, that little flower in the corner, would you please come up? Me? How you gonna do it? How you doing?
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Reverend Victoria. My name is Unity Bloom, a daffodil, formerly from New York City, but now I'm living down at the end of the driveway on the south side in the woods there. And, I got to tell you, I love this group. I love it, and I feel connected. I'm here more than you might realize. Like 2 weeks ago at the annual meeting, yeah, I was in a vase up here. I saw it all. And I got to tell you, it broke my heart. Why? To see all of these loving people who are trying to materialize and realize a higher consciousness, and there's not enough money. We're living hand to glove. We're scraping bottom. And, it's very hard to materialize and actualize with a scarcity consciousness. It is. It's very sad. So, I don't know if you know that daffodils are usually very highly spiritually realized. And we have a tremendous connection with the divine consciousness. And that is why I'm here today. Because I was asked to come down and help you. And so to that end, we are going to raise 25 smackers, $25,000. And let me say that again. It's a lot of money, but we can do it. And the daffodil, I don't know if you know it, is the symbol of hope in the world. So, that's why I'm so optimistic.
Yeah.
And what I got to tell you is, you got to do the math. If 100 people each give $100, 10,000 smackers right there. If 10 people give $1,000, that's 10,000. Any combination between will work. So what I'm asking you to realize it's doable, and I look at it this way, loving baseball as I do, I swing for the fence. And the way I look at it, why not? Because even if you don't get it over the fence, we're going to be in a much better situation so that we can bring forward the things that Unity wants to do as we're in the process of becoming. So I'm asking each and every one of you to picture yourselves making a donation, okay? Now, wait, I'm getting a call. oh my God, it's the Lord. And so I gotta wrap this up. So basically, what I'm supposed to tell you is, and you know this, you're never asked to do more than you can do, right? Can I get an amen on that?
Amen.
And so now to that end, a little tip. You're going to be surprised that a flower has this insight. Here's my tip. Do your taxes. What? Yeah. Because you may not realize, if you haven't looked into that the tax law changed in January 2025, sorry. And it's
Probably then too.
I'm aging myself, oh gosh. But it's meant to return a very substantial return to people such as ourselves. And they're saying that the average return will be a $1,000 increase per person. So definitely check this out. If you haven't peeked into your taxes, call your tax guy. Or run the numbers on TurboTax. But the bottom line is, get started. And if you find that you're getting a little windfall, think about sharing it with Unity, right? Yeah. And now, I got to just say, I promised the Lord I would get out of here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for making me feel so welcome, and Reverend Victoria for getting all those flyers out there. Donation process is starting and will run through June. And one last thing. Did you know that this fundraiser was named after me? No. Yes.
Yeah.
It's called Unity Blooms, and my name just happens to be Ms. Unity Bloom. So you gotta contribute. And now as I go, anybody who makes a donation, it's gonna be just like Oprah. You get a daffodil. You get a daffodil.
Thank you, Miss Unity Blooms. That was fabulous. I did not expect that. Yeah, that was wow. Okay, thank you so much to Laura and Joe, and also Jamie and Ellen, who are helping. And if anybody else would like to support this and help with this fundraiser, please talk to the daffodil there. All right. Gaines, can you make a real quick announcement about the men's group? Okay. 15th, yeah, next Sunday.
Next Sunday being the third Sunday, the UCP Men's Center is hosting a program at 9:15. Women are welcome to come. The host next week is Kevin Condos, who could not come today. Years ago, Kevin and I rewrote the 12 steps of AA, which never mentioned AA. We haven't had a place to support that. So next Sunday, the topic is Universal 12 Steps, Kevin Condos. Next month is, this guy is the, Chris is the leader next month. Third Sunday, 9:15, topic of his choice.
Thank you, Gaines. Okay. All men are welcome, correct? Okay. And I just wanted to remind you, if you're feeling like you'd like to have a little more structure together with other people in meditation, there is, just want to remind you, there is a pre-service meditation that is in the back in the room 103 right before the service at 10:30, and Jamie and Ellen are beautifully hosting that. It's a silent meditation, but sometimes it really helps to be with others in that space, as we've been talking about. Okay, artist reception, all of these gorgeous photographs that we have been enjoying for the last few months. The artist Kathy Duncan back there, Durkin. We have an artist reception for her after the service, so please stay. It's your opportunity to take one last look and think, okay, I want to hang that in my room, and go ahead and purchase that, and also ask questions about her process. Okay, Sacred Cafe is, I think, probably outside. It's such a gorgeous day. Please join us for that. Deeper Dive discussion is led by Wei Ho. Thank you, Wei, for leading the discussion. Deeper Dive. 3-Minute Miracle is your opportunity to sit with someone who is trained in prayer. Today it's Joy Bell. Thank you. If you got anything going on, you can sit with somebody. She'll help you see it from the highest possible perspective. Okay, and if you are online and you'd like somebody to pray with you, please send an email to prayer@unitychapelhill.org with your name and phone number, and someone will call you back. Thank you for being here. Okay, we got kids back there just waiting to come in.
Good afternoon, y'all. Howdy, howdy. Big thanks to Kai for coming today and doing the example here. We talked a little bit more about the strength. We tried, in my head, it was a great idea to talk about the arterial flow outward as expression of compassion and the venous return as an expression of wisdom, and that together it's a form of strength. And then how do I as the challenge to teach that subtlety to children? Anyway, but we did a fun thing. We did some things. We did stuff. So hopefully in 20 years they'll figure it out. Next year we're going to continue talking about strength. We're going to look at the gut. I do have a request. Is anybody feeling confident about talking to kids about the chakra centers or the endocrine system? Come see me. I'd like to invite you to teach. And we'll talk more about that and how to work it. I think that is it, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
We talked about it, but maybe
heard.
you want to share some more.
I'll teach you how to do the Siege of Ennis. It's a dance, a group dance I grew up doing seeing in the Irish American Club. So we're gonna,
Oh, how fun!
The funds will go to support the YFM program.
Yeah.
So come, enjoy, eat, laugh,
dance,
sing.
Wonderful. All right, and before we bless the children, I just want to say one thing. We've decided to do the Sacred Cafe inside so we can be here for the artist reception. Okay. Well, let's say our blessing for these children and the children of the world. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. And we behold the Christ in you. Mwah. All right. Let us stand, take a hand, and we say our prayer of protection with I am statements. Get back here. There we go. Hey there. All right, let's take a nice deep breath together. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is and all is well.
Hi, it's Reverend Victoria here. I'm at Unity Center of Peace with our house band, Bright Matter.
Hello.
Yeah, and if this video has inspired you or empowered you or opened your heart, opened your consciousness, or even just given you hope, we ask that you support what we're doing here by making a donation today, going to unitychapelhill.org or clicking the link below. And we thank you.
Thank you.